Up next on Inside ChampCar, racing update and a chat with Hillar Kalda. Welcome to Inside ChampCar podcast. I'm Brian Bielanski. He is
Bill Strong.
I love the voicemail impersonation. Later on in the show, we'll be joined by the team principal of MomoChamp, Mazda, Miata, Hillar Kalda. I can tease ahead, right? What a great conversation. They're a longtime ChampCar racing team. They won the Chandler School Spirit of ChampCar Award at Road Atlanta. And you guys should stick around for that. That was a good chat. Bill, how you doing, my friend?
I am worn out.
Worn out? Why? You don't do anything.
Yeah, I don't. I just sit around a lot watching racing videos. Now, we spent the last couple of weeks, when I say we, me, spent the last couple of weeks redesigning the ChampCar website. Hopefully, we brought it up to at least the 1980s. And it's basically the same layout, just a better look to it.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Just for folks, last year we were using a WordPress website, try to keep it simple, just in case I drop dead, somebody could come in and take over. Well, during the what was that thing that happened in 2020?
The pandemic,
forget what it was.
Lockdowns,
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
all that stuff.
We started getting a lot of errors in some of our code that we were buying from other people, and so I ended up over the New Year's last year redesigning the website over a 24-hour period. Threw it up real quick, ugly as sin, but it worked, did its job. Right. And it was one of those things, I'll get to it next week, I'll make it better. Well, a year later I finally got that done, so hopefully you guys can it makes it easier to find things. We've got a better look to all the pages, not just the outside but the registration pages as well.
Sure,
hopefully it's a little easier to use on a mobile phone. So that's kind of what I was doing, late night stuff and then doing my regular job during the day. So yeah, a little wore out. And
nice.
So yeah, today I watched the 1983 Formula One European Grand Prix.
1983.
Way back. 1983. I was there.
I was going to say there must be some significance to that particular race.
I found it on YouTube.
Nice.
YouTube has everything.
And where was that particular Grand Prix?
Brands Hatch.
Okay, Brands Hatch. Cool.
A buddy, I was in the Air Force. A buddy said, "Hey, there's this Formula One going on, and let's go." And so we got tickets. I think we paid. We got there. I think the military gave us free tickets, but we got there. I paid £10 to get a pit pass for Saturday and Sunday. Walked through the paddock. I met some young kid, some Brazilian guy.
Senna
or something like that.
Yeah,
yes,
some guy.
He was running in Formula 3 or whatever the one below that was. And Tommy Byrne. I met him, and he actually ended up racing with us in ChampCar.
So I remember you telling me this is like the race that made you interested in racing, right?
Racing. Yeah. I mean, I was into like stuff.
Okay.
I grew up watching Monaco and ABC and,
right.
And that, I like racing. I like cars, but yeah, to hear the Formula One cars were and see it.
Cool.
It was funny. I saw I remember a car catching on fire.
Okay.
Rolling up next to us, and I walked the track during the race. I walked around the whole track, and back then you could pretty much walk anywhere. I mean, it was
right.
The car was right there. Well, I watched it on the show, and I was a little further back because I wasn't on the screen, but it was a little further. And I remember taking a picture of it with my film camera. Remember, you took a picture.
Nice.
You only had 35 left.
Yeah.
Better make them count. And I took a picture, and all it was white.
Yeah.
With a light car in it because all the fire extinguishers going off. But that was kind of cool to watch that race. And it was the track didn't seem as big as when I remember it.
Sure.
That was a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of people there too.
Cool.
But yeah, Formula One back in the 80s, the cars just they were weird looking too.
Yeah.
They did not look very safe.
They weren't.
No. Considering now. But yeah,
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I remember the Maury Walker and the F1 guy. What was his name? They made a movie about him. Champion.
Oh, Prost.
Rush. No, the other one.
Oh my God.
Come on. The world's going crazy.
You're making everyone's screaming at their podcast right now, going like, why don't you know this name?
I think it was Patrick Tambay or what, somebody crashed. No, one of the Ferrari cars crashed into a wall, and it looked kind of hard, but they were saying, oh yeah, Hunt. Yeah. Hunt. They and Hunt says, oh yeah. It was like crashing into a pillow. It's just really soft. The guy gets out, and he's holding his arm like, it's like, oh yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
That's back when men were men and
men were men. Still stupid, still doing crazy things.
That's right.
Back when racers would get stupid drunk on Saturday night and then jump into a Formula car on Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
That does not happen anymore.
There would be a video of it somewhere.
Absolutely. So you've got some stuff you're working on. We're just like a week away from the ChampCar Endurance Series getting crazy, right?
Yeah. I'm headed tomorrow. I'm actually bright and early in the morning. I'm headed down to South Florida, going to do a media frenzy with a couple of teams down there. Come back here and do a quick turnaround, then head to VIR, where we're going to do a 12-hour on South Course. We have 30 cars signed up for that right now. I then come home, do another quick turnaround, and head to Harris Hill, Florida. Now, I'm driving to all these, so I got to carry a lot of our gear that we use for the race, the Flagtronics, and some of our timing and radio gear.
If you're going to Harris Hill, Florida, then...
No, Harris Hill, Texas.
I was going to say, you're going to be by yourself, because as far as I know, the race is in Harris Hill, Texas, right?
Yes. Texas, and I won't be by myself there. That country club is such a cool place. 45 cars there. And then I drive from there straight to NCM, where a whole bunch of cars are going to be. We have 31 signed up now. We should have another 6 or 7, maybe 10 cars sign up as we get closer. And then, of course, come home, do a real quick turnaround again, and head to Daytona, Florida. Ray Frank and I will be going down to that one. 123 cars signed up. I think there's another 4 cars waiting to get in. Wow. that the boss has to put in. And then come home and turn around and go to Road America, which is the opposite end of the country. So, and then I think I come home and then come home and get a week off. Get to mow the grass. That's probably at 4 or 5 feet tall. And then head to the Ozarks.
So do you like drive the ChampCar trailer to all these events?
Yeah, minivan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have the ChampCar media van. My Kia.
Your Kia.
Yeah,
cool.
There's a big joke there.
That puts some miles on a car over the course of a year.
It does, but it's cheaper than flying right now. Let me tell you.
That's true. Absolutely. I
had some miles that we canceled some flights during the start of COVID because we pre-booked our flights. So all these were sitting in my account getting ready to expire. So
I'm happy to go on a trip on, send me to Hawaii for a weekend. My wife would love that.
Unfortunately, that was back when airplane tickets dropped. I mean, they were like $200 to fly to the West Coast. So it was awesome. I'm like, buy them now, everybody buy their tickets now. And I
remember I had to come back to your neck of the woods that's right. during that period of time to load up a truck. Long story, not having nothing to do with racing. When we moved out here, we left a bunch of our stuff in Charlottesville in a storage unit that we were paying every month for, I think, 6 years. And we decided that after I got laid off, there'd be no better time for us to go get that stuff and bring it out here, and we had a place to put it. So it cost $67 to fly from LAX to Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
That was for both flights because you can't get from LAX to Richmond.
Yeah.
And then the moving truck to move everything back was $650 across the country for the 26-foot truck. Because everybody was leaving California and they needed those trucks in California. So I was like, let's do it. Let's get it done. So crazy. So what should teams expect when they get to VIR coming up here?
A long tech line.
Sure.
I'm kidding. No, it's not going to be that bad. Tech is pretty good now. They've got it down to where they're just checking safety stuff. It's up to the teams to police themselves when it comes to all the cheaty bits on their cars.
Got it.
But they have to fill out their own tech forms. But we check the safety, make sure all the seatbelts are in date, window nuts are in date, helmets are in date, suits, the whole bit. And right now we're still not there with the
new reg system.
The new registration system for your gear. once that's done and tested, we'll put that public. But I
Sure.
believe now we're still going to do it like we have in the past, where
Right.
you need to come to tech and have us take a look at your gear, and we'll put a sticker on your forehead.
Yeah,
or your
and
helmet,
we'll
whichever.
really break down Virginia next week, VR next week.
Yeah.
Talk about which teams are going, who the favorites are going to be, all that
Right.
kind of stuff. We'll take a look at the weather forecast.
Well, the funny thing about VIR is there are no favorites, because whenever we pick favorites,
So we got to pick if there's somebody we don't like. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, yeah,
We can put the announcer's curse on them.
yep.
That's
Remember-
too good.
That's right.
Too
That's
good.
right.
Also, want to remind folks before we get to our tech tip that this podcast will be airing on the 24th of February. You've got 4 days from when this airs if you want to enter Ozarks with the discount. That discount, you have until February 28th to enter the Ozarks race to get the discount. Also, if you want the discount for Sonoma, right now, I mean, you got to get your money in now or get your entry in now, because the discount for Sonoma.
Well, I think we're extending that discount out. We're gonna extend out all the West Coast events to race day, to the flag drops.
Oh,
That's save your $200, and that's
I need a breaking
Sonoma
news sounder, because
I know we do.
Because let me work on that. I'll work on
We-
that, because that was
I have an
breaking news.
Yeah, I have an email ready to go for that, and it
Okay.
may go out before we air this. It may not. Who knows?
I just
but
got you
yeah,
in trouble.
It's there's still some things we need to discuss.
Sure.
And Dana and I we'll get together actually tomorrow
Yep.
night. Him and I are getting together. So
Cool. All right, so tech tip. This is the time when we come up with something cool or maybe not cool, depending on what you think to talk about. In-car lap timers.
Yeah.
So my in-car lap timer when I was driving was a stopwatch Velcroed to the steering wheel, and which is actually surprisingly good to use if that's all you
Right.
got. But you've got some better stuff we can play with these days, right?
Yeah, so way back in the dark ages of, I think, 2014,
Okay.
I ran with my buddy Troy Trulio, and they had just got this new thing called the AIM Solo.
Oh.
And they had that mounted on their GPS and gave you a predictive lap time. You could see when you were slowing down. You could see where you were losing time. You could see where you were gaining time. And it was, once I'd learned how to use it, basically I was coached.
Right.
I was about 12 to 15 seconds slower than one of our fast guy. And I'm just like, there's no reason for me to be that slow. What is going on? Well, Kevin Toulay got on the radio and said, basically, stop gripping death grip on the wheel, relax. We had cameras too.
Right.
Relax, look at the times, and boom, automatically a couple seconds. And then we just worked on it. Okay, where is it showing fast? Here it's fast, there it's slow. Okay, now and he just worked it with me, and I got within 5 seconds of him again, and that was much better.
Right.
Maybe 7. So I'd cut my time in half. So I went home, ordered one myself, put it in my car, and that was probably the best tool that we'd ever bought. Now, that was pretty expensive at the time. I think it was like $350 for that monochrome display. Now they have what's considered the I think CDN magazine. One of the big electronic groups did a report recently on the best lap timers for track days and such. And the AIM Solo 2, which is color and has a few more plugins to it, $450 for that bad boy.
Right.
But it was ranked number 1. And if money was no object, the AIM Smarty Cam was ranked up there. And that's a little camera with it, overlays, and you can show how fast. I mean, it's just really good. The AIM Solo and the Solo 2 just do overlays.
Okay.
You can take your GoPro video and you can mix it with other software out there, but the Smarty Cam, it's all done in-house.
So does the AIM, besides the GPS, does it also click into the OBS system?
OBD2?
Whatever that thing is. I can never remember the letters and numbers.
I think the Solo 2 can do that kind of stuff. Mine can't. Mine's kind of dumb, but I don't need all that, and I don't use all that.
Sure.
Toyota, my engine was right on the edge of Toyota using a proper OBD2 versus not.
Okay, gotcha.
It was still right in the middle of that. So
cool.
Nothing works with OBD2 with it unless you have a tester.
Right.
And then the best track coach, which is something new and a lot of the retailers are selling right now, is a Garmin Catalyst. That's a GPS type thing. It has a camera in it, and it actually talks to you. and tells you, hey, you're going too slow. I don't know if he cusses at you like my guys do, but and then of course all this costs money.
Of course.
Nothing is cheap in racing.
Right.
Even though we say it's cheap, nothing is cheap. Well, there's also the lap timers that you can get for your phone, the apps.
Sure.
There's Track Addict, and Harry's lap timer's been out forever.
Yep.
And actually I tried that at one point. I could never get it to work on my old archaic iPhone 4, I think it was.
Right.
But it was but there's a lot of guys that still use that. You see all kinds of really cool stuff. Guys have dashes now from AIM and other companies where it has all that built in. But basic, doesn't matter what it is. Just get something that shows you your times so you can work at decreasing those times. And it ends up making you smoother, I think.
Okay.
As a driver, protect the equipment a little better, I think. And just makes you a better driver.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. You mentioned one thing earlier about the death grip on the steering wheel. I got to the end of a race a Saturday evening, and we were out at dinner, and I made a comment that my hands were sore.
Yeah.
One of my guys said, "Your hands are." I said, "I don't know. I mean, my hands are just really sore." And he goes, "How hard do you grip at a steering wheel?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then when I went in the car the next day, I realized I was doing that death grip. Yeah. And a guy said to me, he said, "You need to hold the steering wheel like you're holding two eggs, and they're already almost cracked."
Right.
And be just you just gotta, and then he went into this whole caress thing, which I can't talk about on a podcast, and it went downhill from there, and blah blah blah. But you get my point. You really, that's one of the first things you learn, and that was one of the things that I'm pointing over my shoulder, which nobody can see on a podcast. Yeah. When I'm sim racing, I continue to remind myself that, because I had the tendency when I got back into sim racing to do the same thing, and the minute I started, relaxing a little bit more, A, my forearms weren't hurting at the end of a sim race 2 hours, and B, I immediately became smoother on the sim race. So the same applications, and it's just good advice.
Well, a good sign that you've got the death grip is when your office desk or whatever you have your steering wheel sim setup mounted to is being lifted off the ground and set down again. That's kind of a sign that, hey, you're trying too hard. Yeah,
I'm not the Arnold Schwarzenegger of sim racing where I can lift my desk off, but I get your point. Good stuff. Yeah. Anything else we got to talk about before we get to break and then go to our next segment here?
No, that's about it. We got races coming up. We got websites we've got redone, and we want you to we actually put the podcast over on YouTube. I had a couple of emails from folks that said, I don't know how to do all this.
Okay.
Clicking links and doing all that. And I think they sounded like that. Not quite certain, because the emails were a lot of exclamation points. Yeah.
Right.
So they said, do you have it on YouTube? Because they know how to get there. So I said, yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
And you and I worked on that last night. We got it done, and it's now up on YouTube.
Yeah, you were quick with that. So that's another option. And it's tough to do the YouTube on your car on the way to the racetrack. But if people want to sit in their home and do that, you don't
get to see us.
Exactly. You don't want to see us. No, nobody wants to see us. No. So, but yeah, any way we can get the word out, get people to enjoy what we're doing it's all good with me. So very cool. And what YouTube channel is that on?
ChampCar Live.
The same place where you get your regular ChampCar weekly podcasts. And
ChampCar.live will take you directly to our YouTube channel. And it's, what are the playlists? Yeah, it's a playlist.
Right.
I redid all the playlists. I updated the picture last night because I didn't realize we still had a picture up there from, I want to say 2014.
Like the year you launched
2015. Yeah. Pretty much.
So, and here's another little YouTube trick, if anybody doesn't know, and I'm sure that I'm telling everyone what they already know, so I apologize ahead of time. If you just hit the videos button, the most recent thing that Bill put up will be the first thing you see. So, there's 4 podcasts up there right now, but, there'll be another podcast and then VIR and whatever else you put up.
Oh, so. There may be also videos that Paulie and I put up by accident. It's like, oops, it's like, can you go, sitting on the computer, with our face up against the monitor and trying to type away, and it's like, oh shit, is this thing live?
Bill's gonna go through and clean up the YouTube channel as soon as we get done here. I can hear the clicking right now. So all right, sounds good. We're gonna get to break. When we come back, we're gonna talk with Hillar Kalda. He's the team principal of MomoChamp Mazda Miata, their longtime ChampCar team. And they won a really cool award was it last year at Road Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever it was at Road Atlanta, we're going to talk.
No, this year.
Oh, this year.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
This year, yeah.
We're going to talk about that. We'll do all of that when we come back. This is Inside ChampCar on the Racing Wire Podcast Network.
Every race weekend, you don't know what's going to happen. But with ChampCar.live, all the action comes right into your living room. The ChampCar Endurance Series is North America's home to real competitive endurance road racing. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car, trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. And ChampCar.live brings you live, full race coverage with in-car and trackside cameras, interviews, and expert commentary. Check out ChampCar.live on the web, subscribe, and ring the bell so as not to miss a single minute of the action. It's fun, free, informative, and it's just a click away. ChampCar.live. Come check us out. We bring you a front row seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Welcome back to Inside ChampCar. I'm Brian Bielanski. He is...
Bill Strong.
You get so excited about your own name, Bill. It's
Just get excited about the show.
There you
the
go.
people we have.
There you go.
Everything.
We are pleased to invite and join with us today as our guest. He's the team principal of MomoChamp Mazda Miata Hillar Kalda, longtime ChampCar racing team. They won the Chandler School Spirit of ChampCar Award at Road Atlanta. We'll talk a little bit about that. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Cool. So we'll get to the award here. I want to hear all about that in just a few minutes. Let's get started with you are a Mazda Miata team in the ChampCar Endurance Series. I suspect you're one of many of those. What's it take to make one of those Miatas go for 12, 14, 24 hours?
Well, they're a pretty reliable car to start with. Mazda did a pretty good job. But when we built the car, and we essentially replaced everything so that you know what you've got. You're not waiting for something to fail. And you do regular maintenance on it, and you just keep it going.
Sure.
Try to keep it on the track, away from people, avoid black flags, and that's it. Just run steady.
There you go.
Now in an era of ChampCar, when you guys came out, because you guys used to be known as MomoChamp, in an era of ChampCar where most people showed up to the track with something they pulled out of a river or a junkyard or their mom's old house or something like that, you guys showed up with one that was actually painted up really nice. It stood out in the field.
Well, we got the car came from a pick and pull. We went and picked it up. I think we paid $600 for it, and it came with an extra engine. And it wasn't that good looking when we got it. But as we built it, we tore everything apart. It was in pieces on the shop floor, and we painted the stuff and tried to make it look good. So
yeah,
it would be a nice car to race.
Now, how long ago was that when you put the car together for the first time?
2014.
Okay. How long did it stay looking nice?
It still does.
Oh, a couple of we keep hammering things out if somebody bumps into something. We haven't had a lot of that recently, but it's been good. It did had a pretty good incident at Daytona in 2016 where a car turned sideways and shot out in front of me in the chicane, and I had it T-boned it, moved our front end over about 1.5 inches. But
Ooh.
we pulled that back out, used a jack, borrowed a radiator, and we got back on the track and finished the race.
Cool.
Did it turn left better or right better?
It just stayed that we did a quick alignment on it. It was just fine.
Great. And then once you got it back to the shop, did you have to do a whole lot more work at that point to make it really good? Because I'm sure that was a quick fix.
It was. When we got back, we had a frame shop try to straighten it out best they can. It was okay. All the bend was in front of the shock towers and where everything mounted, so it didn't affect that much. But then in 2019, we rebuilt the car.
Okay.
We just we had to try to keep up with everybody, so we put a 99 engine in it. It's a 94. Put a surge tank in. Did an air dam, spoiler. And then later on, we added a splitter and a wing. So it's come along fairly well.
So what got you guys racing in ChampCar? What'd you guys do before this?
We I joined up with a team, helped them out at the VIR 13-hour, the SCCA race, the Charge of the Headlight Brigade.
Yep.
And I kind of like that. That was when I was living up in Maryland. Moved down here and joined the Flying Tigers team. And,
I remember them.
Yeah, did that for a couple of years, but that kind of we kind of plateaued there. Things just weren't changing. We wanted to compete rather than just, drive around the track or,
Right.
just race in the mid pack. We wanted to be competitive. And that's when we split off, me and another fellow, Carlos, and we built the car and went from there. Joey Evans joined us a little bit later. Carlos left. So now it's just me and Joey, and we keep the thing going.
So you said you wanted to compete. Are there two factions of teams that go out ChampCar Endurance Racing? The factions that want to run at the pointy end of the field, and then the factions who are okay with just getting out there, having a good time, making laps, being with their friends, hitting the track?
Yeah, there are. I think there's three factions. There's a competitive end, and then there's kind of that mid-range stuff where people are running and they want to do the best they can. And then there's some people that are just out there to enjoy themselves, get track time, not worry about how fast they do a pit stop. So it kind of splits things out. And we wanted to be, trying to be competitive, and we have been.
That was really difficult for me because I've run with a team recently that they just want to get out there and have fun, and it was totally opposite of what my team did. We always tried to be at the front. Not that we were, but we wanted to be up there. And that was difficult for me to kind of understand. But when you just sit back and relax and it's like, oh, wow, this is fun. That kind of changed a little bit.
Well, I think it's more fun when you're competitive and you're passing people, and yeah, people are passing you too, but you're trying to do the best you can.
Right.
And it's just a different mindset, I think.
Right. And I found I'm always that perennial mid-packer. I'm measuring myself. I'm competing, absolutely trying to do the best I can, but I'm measuring myself oftentimes against myself or against my last performance. Did I make an improvement this weekend, or did I make an improvement this session? And so I think, there's always a different way to think about it depending on where you are and what kind of equipment you've got, and of course, how much talent is under the helmet.
Well, there's always, the most improvement that can be made, well, for us for sure, is between the steering wheel and the seat.
Right.
You just have to be, you try to be consistent, try to get better, work on corners, get them better. And, the big thing is to run consistently and stay on the track, do the pit stops, as quickly as possible in that 5-minute window, which normally for us isn't a problem. We usually have 2 minutes left. You got a lot of time to check things, and, stay out there. Sometimes those, a full course yellow comes into play. Sometimes it doesn't. So you just have to keep running your own race, no matter who's out there. You get a lot of teams out there that are high dollar teams, big haulers, but they still have to finish. So if we keep our head down, it's nice to gauge yourself against teams like that and see how you fare. But, you keep your head down, you keep doing, keep running steady and not have any difficulties, and you can do fairly well.
Do you have a list of things that you look at? So let's say it's a 5-minute pit stop. You get the work that has to get done in 3 minutes. Then do you have the things on the Miata that are kind of maintenance points or fail points that you want to keep an eye on? Then that last 2 minutes, you kind of go, these are the couple things I want to check on this time?
Well, once the fueling's done, driver's in, torque the lug nuts, sometimes check the air pressure. If there's time, clean the windshield. And then if there's time, check the oil. We usually check it every second stint. If there's time, check it again. We don't normally use any. And using oil is an indicator to us that there's something going on in the engine, and it's going to be time to take it out and go back through it.
Right.
We lost an engine in Daytona after the year previous at Sebring. A fellow that was driving called in, said, hey, it looks like it's running really lean on the air fuel gauge. We said oil temperature was, oil pressure was good, water temperature was good, keep on running. And we ran Sebring, AMP, Barber, Road Atlanta. And at Road Atlanta, we used some oil. And Chris Huggins told me when he was following me out of a corner that there'd be some smoke. We got to Daytona, and we got out of the race about halfway through, opened it up. We had a cracked piston.
Yeah.
But the bores were still fine. Everything was good. So, put it back together and keep going.
Cool. Well, one of the things you didn't mention in that pit stop was tires. How often do you change tires? Does a set last you for an entire race?
We used to run Dureza. What were they? Star Specs.
Yep, Star Spec Z3, Z2s,
Z3, the Z2s, and then the Z3s.
Yeah.
And they would last us a race. Now we run the Hankook RS4s, and the tires that we ran at Road Atlanta for 14 hours, we previously run at Barber, although that was only for one day in the dry. And we also ran those at AMP. Usually we get at least 2 14-hour races out of a set of tires now.
Now, are you running the wider? A lot of the teams are running like the 15 by 10s or whatever, 15 by 12 wheels with the 245s.
We're running 225s.
Oh, okay.
Seems that we can put heat into those with a 9-inch rim.
Right.
7-inch was kind of the standard spec Miata wheel size. So we could go wider, but right now it seems we have plenty of grip, and we're going to just leave it the way it is. Otherwise, we have to buy another set of wheels.
Yeah, that's funny, though, that you were going through the Z2s actually would last. I'd buy 3 sets and they would last me about 7, 8 races. And
wow.
And that was on a much heavier car. Either we weren't driving very hard, which could have been it, or I don't know.
When we first started, the Durezas would last us 2 races.
Right.
And then as we got faster, we were taking them down to nothing in a 14-hour race.
Oh, wow.
So we were driving harder, and that it was showing up in the tire wear.
Right.
We have to do a whole episode on tire management, Bill. We should get someone on to talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we should actually.
That'd be fun.
We could get somebody from Tire Rack on. Actually, I know a couple of guys.
I bet you do.
There you go.
I bet you do. You mentioned trying to keep up with those teams who bring the big haulers to the racetrack, and what's the thought process of teams who don't have the big haulers, who don't have the deep pockets, going up against those teams that do? Is that something that you feel is kind of maybe not in the spirit of what ChampCar is supposed to be?
I don't find that. If the car's built to the rules, it's good to run, and if you've got the resources, then more power to you.
Sure.
And to race against guys like that, that's fun. They may have pro drivers, and it just shows you what's possible. Mm-hmm. And I don't see any problem with that.
Do you?
I always found it kind of cool to gauge yourself against those Tony Stewarts or Schumacher, or not Schumacher.
Now that I'd like to see. I would love to see that.
Some of the
Nonamaker.
Yes, yeah. And even Randy Popes. Passing Randy Popes, though he was broken, but passing Randy Popes was pretty fun. So
I don't care how I pass Randy Popes, as long as I can wave as I'm going by. That would make me happy.
Yep.
Yeah. And he waved at you with a different wave, though, I'm sure.
No, Randy waved at me every 4 laps at Sebring one year. The year we ran the Opel GT, the leaders were passing me every 4 laps, and we shared a radio. We were teammates, so we shared a radio, and he would let me know every time he came up on me.
I bet he would.
Oh yeah,
I bet he would. So tell us about your 2021 season. How did last year go for you guys?
Last year went pretty well. I think we started the year as normal in Road Atlanta.
Okay.
And that was a snow out, and we ended up, I think, 9th overall there. We chose not to go to Daytona. But the rest of the year, it was I can't remember exactly, but Sebring, AMP, Barber. We did pretty well. I think we finished 2nd overall at AMP.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
And Barber, I can't remember what we did there. We did pretty well this year. I think we finished 4th overall. So it was a good year. They've all been good years. We've made we've qualified for the championship every year. It's always fun.
Are you going to head out to the Ozarks?
No, we're not. It's just too much of a time commitment for both of us to go out there. It'd be over a week of time away.
Right.
It's just a little bit too much.
Right.
Or
do you usually have the same core group of people every race, or do you have like a rotating group of drivers that come in and out, or is it usually the same group of folks every time?
It's usually the same group. Joey and I own the car. We've got some guys that drive with us pretty steady now. Andres Tostes from Atlanta, Benson Young from Atlanta. We got a fellow, Joseph Anderson, who lives in South Florida, that usually drives with us at Daytona and Sebring. So, and Graham drove with us at NCM last year. So it's a pretty regular group of guys. They've all got the same, they take care of the equipment the same. And that's important because, we want to bring the car back in one piece, and everybody, if everybody has the same attitude driving, it makes it a lot easier.
Sure. Do they all have the same size too? Because I always found that to be a challenge in endurance racing. I am 5'6" and abundantly round and
mature.
Oh yes, 5'6" and mature. And I've raced in the same race with guys who were 6'2" and young. How's that, young and 6'2"? That's code for skinny. How's that work for you guys?
When we rebuilt the car, we dropped Joey made a drop floor in it. It dropped the floor where the seat tracks would go, and we put sliders in there. Okay. So as you pull the seat forward, it also brings you up higher. So the shorter, Joey's a bit shorter than I am, so his seat's going to be forward. So everybody can find a comfortable place.
Right.
And it's been working out really well.
Yeah, I suspect the shorter you are, the more likely you would need help getting over the steering wheel. I like that. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, worked out pretty well. That way nobody's adding cushions to push yourself forward in the seat, which is not that safe.
Right.
So.
Yeah, my driver used to get really angry with me. Little Troy. We'd put pillows behind him, and he wasn't happy about that kind of stuff.
Got it. What's your 22 season look like? What are your plans for this year?
Well, we did Road Atlanta. Next race, we're going to NCM. After that, not quite sure. There's a Sebring race at the beginning of July. That's a 2-day race. I believe we're going to go do that. We normally do Sebring in September, but it's not on the schedule there this year. Then AMP, and not quite sure after that, because normally we would do Barber, but that's not on the schedule this year either.
No.
So we'll see how it goes.
Got it. So Bill, maybe you can fill me in a little bit. Tell me about the Chandler School Spirit of ChampCar Award. What goes into that?
Chandler School is a school for dyslexic children and kids with learning disabilities in Greenville, South Carolina. I think it's Greenville, South Carolina. Dana Blackhurst runs that. Dana's wife used to be the mayor of Las Vegas 2 times in a row.
Okay.
And she was also on the board of directors for Caesars Palace Corporation.
Got it.
They do a lot of work with groups and students and such. And well, Dana has set up from his school, the kids working on these cars. Now, these are elementary school and middle school kids, I think some high school, and they actually build the cars. They get them ready to race. They go to the racetrack. Dana's school is located kind of like in the middle of the Michelin plant, the test center there, and the BMW plant in South Carolina. So they pull test drivers from that, and they have guest drivers as well that run with them and run the cars. They fuel them. When they're done fueling the car, the kids then take over, wash the windows, check the tire pressures, change tires if needed, bang metal out if needed, that kind of stuff. So they have an absolute blast. It gets them out of their it gets them learning a little differently than what the normal school children do, and that's kind of what they need, and they do really, really well. And it's fun watching them too.
Cool.
So one of the things they do that Dana's done is provided a trophy or a plaque for the for what we call the Spirit of ChampCar. The children make the plaques, and part of the process is we pick a team that we think exemplifies the meaning of the Chandler School Sportsmanship Award, and are part of the award comes with homework. So the team has to do students have written a letter on the back of the plaque.
Okay.
And your idea is, or what you're supposed to do is write back to the students, and it starts this line of communications. They get to practice their writing skills, communicating, and you can earn points for that. So the more letters you write, the more points you get. And at the end of the year, they're going to, I think it's $1,000 in champ bucks that they're going to give out to the teams. And I think last year that was split between 4 teams. I think all 4 teams got 1,000, I think it was, but it worked out pretty well, and the teams like it, and the kids love it.
And do they give out an award every race?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple, like last year we had a race that we added late, so we didn't get an award out by that one.
Sure.
Pretty much all of them.
So Hillar, when you get that award, what's that feel like when you find out you've won the Spirit of ChampCar award?
Well, it was pretty surprising and humbling. I mean, we like to help out whoever we can, and but we were rather surprised by it. But it feels kind of good. I mean, we appreciate all the people that are in that race with us, that that are in the organization. So it's nice to be recognized for something.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys did well. I mean, we had a lot of folks along pit lane that needed help, and you guys provided that help. We had some folks that needed generator help or something, and you guys helped them there too. And
cool.
Yeah, we always try to help out who we can. We don't bring a lot of parts, but tie rod ends, ball joints, things like that. People run around. We've got a spare alternator, spare starter.
Right.
If people run around, they need to borrow something, or have we got one? And we always let them have what they want, and stuff always comes back. You never have to go searching for it.
Right. And I suppose, if you're running an Opal like Bill, you got to bring everything, because nobody's crazy enough.
No. We don't bring any Opal parts. You can't find them.
Or dumb enough to run an Opal. But if you're running a Mazda, there's probably a handful of drivers and cars out there that if you do have something, one of y'all should have it, right?
That's pretty much how it works out. And, we've had other teams help us, and we appreciate that. And you just have to pass it on, or, pass it forward, whatever you want to say.
So there's a lot of places out there you can go racing these days. Lots of different series and all that kind of stuff. What keeps bringing you back to ChampCar?
Well, it's I think it's a bang for the buck. You get a lot of seat time out there, and it's wheel-to-wheel racing. It's good racing. It's a variety of stuff. You're racing in whatever kind of weather comes along. And the people that you're racing with, against, whatever you want to say, it's a good group of people. You make a lot of friends. It's, you come back, it's nice to meet, see people again, see how they're doing. I raced in NASA for a little bit, and that just becomes more individual than a team effort. And it's just not the same camaraderie that you get in ChampCar.
Now, with your name, is that Scandinavian?
It is. It's from Estonia. All
right. So that means you're adept at driving in any condition, snow, ice.
I grew up in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I could hear the accent there a little bit. So did that help you any at Road Atlanta last year with the snow?
I don't think so. I think everybody was just trying to make it through.
Live.
But yeah, it's one of those things. You just have to be very very gentle with everything. It's the same as driving in the dry. It just things happen sooner. That's all.
Right.
Quicker too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had the same problem at Barber one year too. Except all the snow was on the side of the track. It had melted on the track.
That was a great experience. I mean, I don't think there's very many places you could say that you've raced where there's snow beside the track. The track is clean, and you get to have a good race, but you have to keep it on the track.
Yeah.
We did that once at Road America, but you would expect that at Road America. You would not expect that at Road Atlanta.
No.
Or Barber. I mean,
Yeah.
Or Barber, yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember waking up, and that was a time when, a lot of us staff shared rooms. And I remember Chiswick opening the window and he froze. And it's like, why is it so bright out there? Yeah, we weren't happy. It was a panic motion because we'd never had that. We'd had ice, but we'd never had snow on the ground.
That's
on
funny.
the roads too. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have a good story you can tell us about Bill? I mean, that's the best. I mean, can we dig into Bill here just a little bit? And it's open game. I can ask him to go away for a few minutes if you want me to.
No, it's all right. He always comes to interview us in when the race is over and in impound. And the last time he came by, he interviewed all the other teams, and he came to us and said, "Oh, my card's full. Sorry," and left. So,
like, really? Yeah.
Good job, Bill.
Or what I like is the guys that tell me they finished third or fourth, but when they've really finished sixth, because I don't ever have anything written down because it's one. Yeah, I just don't. And I have to kind of guess. And hey, what place did you finish? Yeah.
Good stuff.
Fun times.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have some sponsors, some supporters you want to thank before we get to wrapping this thing up?
We don't really have any sponsors, but for a lot of years, our car was at Tallahassee Auto Repair. We had a lift there that we owned, but they let us keep the back corner for us, and we worked on that a lot there. That helped us out a lot. The fellow's name that owned the place is Brent Merriman. He still helps us out. Go over there, change tires, do align. They put the car up on the alignment rack. I do the alignment, and it's very helpful. Momo helped us out at the start with some good discounts on parts.
Nice.
Nothing came free, but
sure.
Things like the steering wheel, seat, quick disconnect, 2 sets of wheels, suits, socks, that kind of stuff. They helped us out, and that helped a lot at the beginning because you're putting all this money into a car that you haven't run yet. So
yeah,
every little bit helps.
Yeah. So what was that initial race? I mean, did you guys expect to do well? I mean, you had this car that you put back together, and did you do well?
When we put it back together, when we rebuilt the car, we went to Sebring.
when you first went racing. Yeah, when you first did it.
It was we were running. We went to AMP in 2014, and it was running really well, and then it started stumbling. And the one thing that we hadn't replaced was the fuel pump. Replaced everything else, bushings, calipers, except the fuel pump, because that should be okay. Well, first day it wasn't, so we replaced that. And the second day we were doing really well until we discovered that a Miata engine can do 9,500 RPM, but only once.
Yes.
So
what's this red light supposed to be on the Miata?
Yeah.
7,000.
Yeah.
7,200.
Yeah. I imagine 9,500 is probably a little in excess of spec.
But it'll do it.
We put it back together, and then when we went to Road Atlanta, we finished 5th overall, first in our class. So that was the next year was a really good year. We had a lot of first place class finishes, finished in the top 10 a lot of times, at a second place, I think, overall again. So it's been a good run for us. I mean, the car does well, and she just keeps on going.
There you go. You got anything else, Bill, before we head out on this one?
No, that's it. I know we're going to see you here soon, and it's always great to see that car out there because it does look good. That black, yellow, and red. It looks really good in pictures, and I like that car.
Have to thank Joe. That's all Joey Evans' credit. He painted the car in his shop building at his house this time, and it came out really nice. He did a really nice job on it, and we try to keep it that way.
There you go. All right, Hillar Kalda, team principal of MomoChamp Mazda Miata. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. When we come back, we are going to do a little wrap-up, talk about what's coming up on next week's show. I'm Brian Bielanski. He's Bill Strong, and this is Inside ChampCar.
Inside ChampCar is a podcast that takes a deep dive into all things going on with the ChampCar Endurance Series. Hosted by veteran journalist, radio host, and racer Brian Bielanski, and ChampCar's very own Bill Strong, we talk to drivers, team bosses, tech gurus, and series supporters. Episodes air every week in time for you to listen on your way to the track. Inside ChampCar is on the Racing Wire Podcast Network, found on Apple, Spotify, Google, and most popular podcasting apps.
Hey, welcome back to the Inside ChampCar podcast here on the Racing Wire Network. And I'm Bill Strong. You are
Brian Bielanski.
There you go. Hey, that was pretty fun with Hillar Kalda. Hillar. See, I do this on pit lane too. It's like, dude, how was your race?
It's too good. That's too good. What a great episode. Had some good information about upcoming races. We got a little tech tip of talking about the old lap timers. And it made me remember back hitting my steering wheel to every lap on my little stopwatch. That was fun.
We had a big kitchen clock over on the right side of the dashboard. You know, the big round, 10-inch kitchen clock that we would try to use, but mainly it was used to tell you how long you've been in the car, because our team guys got upset with, am I ready to come in yet? This is hard.
How many more laps? Many more laps?
You've only been out there 10 minutes.
Oh,
Man
damn.
up. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what else we got coming up next week? We got a fun episode, right?
Oh yeah, I hope so. I can't tell you who yet, but she should be on with us. I hope so.
Very nice.
She set all kinds of records in the world of running races and stuff, and we'll see if she can get her on here. She's or somebody. We'll have somebody.
Somebody will join us next week for what will hopefully be another compelling episode.
Yeah.
We're also going to really take a deep dive into what's coming up at VIR.
Yeah.
I was told we shouldn't make any predictions, because that's like the kiss of death, which I guess could be fun, So what we should do is, if you want to send me dollar bills with the people you want us to give predictions about, then that could I'm just kidding. No, you cannot bribe the announcers. Maybe.
Nah, but if you're interested in being on our show, send me an email, bill.strong@champcar.org or media@champcar.org. And we'll get in touch with you, see what you have, and let's talk. And we'd love to talk to you guys. We have 52 shows to fill up this year.
Yeah,
there's got to be at least 52 folks out there, and we'd love to have your whole team come on. Heck,
yeah,
we could get 5 or 6 guys on the other side.
Oh boy,
that'd be kind of fun to control, huh?
Yeah, I'm not the guy who's got to edit that podcast, am I?
Well, you just let it. We could do it. We could live stream it.
Oh boy, there we go. That's going to be the next iteration of the Inside ChampCar podcast, live streaming on all of our channels.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, we'll get to that point at some point. But then you got to get a haircut and put on a little movie makeup when you do that, Bill. I mean, there's a lot of work that's got to be done to get you camera ready.
Doc made me do that, and then sent me outside to do pit reporting when it was like 100 degrees.
Oh, gosh.
That mascara running down my eyes stung, man.
But I bet you were so cute.
I didn't think that pit reporters had to wear mascara, but he told me they did.
I don't think they do, but I think Doc was trying to make you have runny mascara.
That's all right. I used to make him pronounce words that you should never say on the show.
I love it.
He'd realize it halfway through the word. It's like, oh.
All right. Before we get ourselves in trouble, Bill, have a great week.
Yes. You too, man. And we'll be in touch next week. Thanks, guys, for listening. And share it out with your friends, family, and other racers you think might be interested in listening to a bunch of guys talk about racing.
There you go. That's going to do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel so you won't miss any episodes. It would also be great if you share it on your social media channels. You can comment on the on the ChampCar Facebook page, especially if those comments are good ones. We don't like the bad ones. If you, we're going to have a new episode every week. They come out on Thursdays, so you can listen to them on the way to the racetrack. For Bill Strong, I'm Brian Bielanski, and you are listening to the Racing Wire Podcasting Network.